This is part 6 of set 1 of our Prof Ed enhancement drills. Let's continue. Number 101. Most delinquents are found to have low IQ. They can hardly read and comprehend well. How can a teacher help them? Letter A. Call for their parents. B. Refer them to a doctor. C. Give them remedial classes. And letter D. Suspend them from classes. So your answer should be letter C. Remedial classes will help students to improve reading and comprehension skills, giving them a better chance at success. So this aligns with the right to education under the Philippine Constitution. So extra effort ka nga lang, teacher. So yung letter A, involvement is helpful but direct intervention is needed. Yung letter B naman may be necessary for special cases, but it does not directly address low IQ or literacy. At yung letter D, this is unfair and it does not solve the problem. So 101 is letter C. Number 102. Children learn when they live by. Treat them with respect and they will respect others. Shout at them and they will be shouting at others too. How would you account for this behavior? Letter A, they can easily impressed. B, they are imitative. Letter C, they cannot tell right from wrong. And letter D, they are observant. So the answer should be letter B. Mabilis silang manggaya, kaya ingat kung ano yung nakikita. So children learn by imitating adults and their surroundings. So as explained in Albert Bandura's social learning theory. Yung letter A, they do more than just admire, so they copy behavior. Yung letter C naman, they can but they still mimic what they see. At yung letter D, they are observant. Of course, observing is passive, but imitation involves action. So the 102 is letter B. Number 103. What should be done with a student in the upper grades who is non-reader? Letter A, encourage him to join a reading club. Letter B, give him comic books. Letter C, have him attend remedial reading classes. And letter D, transfer him to a lower section. So your answer here should be letter have him attend remedial reading classes. Kung may program ang school, usually may mga ganong remedial reading classes sa mga schools. It's public school. So remedial reading helps non-readers develop skills that they need. So this follows DepEd's Every Child a Reader program. Yung letter A, clubs may not teach fundamental reading skills. Yung letter B naman, engaging. This is engaging, but it's not structured learning. At yung letter D, transfer him to lower sections. So it does not solve the issue. You just move the problem. So number 103 is letter C. Number 104. In which situation is learning most likely to happen? Letter A, when students work by themselves. B, when students are quiet and well-behaved. Letter C, when all the needed materials are available. And letter D, when students know the importance of the task at hand. So your answer is letter A is wrong. It's letter D. Students are motivated to learn when they understand why a lesson matters. Pag naiintindihan nila kung bakit mahalaga yung lessons. So this aligns with constructivist learning theory. Yung letter A, when students work by themselves. So collaboration often enhances learning. Yung letter B naman, it does not guarantee engagement. Yung letter C, well, resources help. Nakakatulong yung resources, but understanding is a key. So number 104 ay letter D. Number 105. What should a teacher do if a question is asked which she, the teacher, cannot answer? Letter A, call other student to answer it. Letter B, ignore the question. Letter C, admit her lack of knowledge. And letter D, assign the class to look for the answer. And the answer here is letter C. Well, some people would say, do not do that. Do not admit your lack of knowledge kasi you're giving up your expert power. Well, Um, Sometimes it's also okay to admit that we lack knowledge because, of course, we have limitations. So, teachers must model honesty and openness. Kailangan nating i-model yung honesty natin tsaka openness sa lifelong learning. Admitting our lack of knowledge does not necessarily mean we are giving up our expert power. So in cases we do not know the answer, we could tell our students that we can answer their question in the next meeting. So it's okay. Basta next meeting, you clarify that. Yung letter A, call other students to answer it, may put pressure on the students. So it's not a good option. Yung letter B naman, ignore the question, it avoids learning opportunities. At yung letter D, assign the class to look for the answer, could be useful, but it should be done together. So 105 ay letter C. Number 106. Social adjustment means the ability to behave in accordance with letter A, universal norms, self-concept, stereotype behavior, or social expectations. So your answer should be letter. So 106 is letter D. Social adjustment means acting according to cultural and societal norms. Yung letter A, universal norms. So social norms vary by culture. And letter D naman, letter B, self-concept. Well, personal identity matters, but it is not the main factor here. At yung letter C, stereotype behavior. Stereotypes are limiting and not the basis of adjustment. So number 106 ay letter D. Number 107, what kind of strategy does teacher employ when she recasts what is said in order to be understood by a student? Letter A, questioning strategy. B, communication strategy. Letter C, decoding strategy. And letter D, learning strategy. So 107 should be letter B, communication strategy. Recasting, yung sasabihin mo ulit yung question or statements. Recasting ang tawag doon. So recasting helps students understand messages better. So supporting effective communication. Yung letter A, question strategy, involves asking, not reformulating. Yung letter C naman, decoding strategy, focuses on understanding written or spoken language, not modifying speech. At yung letter D, it's more general than communication strategies, yung learning strategy. So 107 is B. Number 108, a student collapsed in her class. It was found out that she did not eat her lunch. What principle is known in this situation? Security need, safety need, psychological need, physiological need. Of course, your answer should be security need is wrong. It's letter D. Physiological need. Food, pagkain is a basic need as identified in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yung security need, it's more about protection from harm. Yung safety need refers to physical safety, not hunger. At yung letter C, deals with emotional well-being, not nutrition. So number 108 ay letter D. 109, how can a teacher avoid breakdown and interruptions in daily class procedures? Letter A, punish the misbehaving student. B, establish a routine for daily tasks. C, assign a leader to assist everyone. And letter D, allow a student to make their own regulations. So your answer should be, i-allow na lang students to make their own regulation. Letter D is wrong. It should be routine for daily tasks para mapayapa ang buhay sa classroom. So classroom routines help students or help the teacher and the classroom to prevent disruptions and ensure the smooth operations, yung flow ng classes. Yung letter A, it does not prevent future issues. Yung letter C naman, it helps. Nakakatulong ito, but a structured routine is more effective. Yung letter D, this can lead to inconsistency and chaos. So number 109 is letter D. 110, which is made after certain norms have been established. Letter A, criterion reference tests. Letter B, local city-wide test. Letter C, teacher-made tests, and letter D, standardized tests. So the answer is letter D, standardized tests are based on established norms to compare students' performance nationally or globally. So mayroong standard na babasehan ng resulta. Yung criterion reference test measures performance against set criteria, not the norms. Yung local citywide test naman may be standardized but not necessarily norm referenced. At yung letter C, this is designed for a specific class, not based on national norms. So 110 ay letter D. Number 111. Which of the following is the main purpose of testing? Letter A, improve instruction. B, facilitating the learning process. Letter C, enhance the effectiveness of counseling. And letter D, all of the above. So 111, your answer should be letter D. Lahat yan. So testing improves instruction, facilitates learning, and enhances counseling by providing feedback on student performance. So naka-align ito sa DepEd's assessment framework. Yung letter A naman, yes. Kung ito lang, but not the only purpose, So, lahat yan. So, 111 ay letter D. (112) Giving emphasis and attention on the natural consequences of learners' behavior develop more self-regulation in the student. Which of the following teacher statements shows more effective focusing on natural consequences? Letter A, those who are well-behaved in class will be given plus 5 points in the quiz. Those who are noisy today during sit work will not be allowed to play games in the computer later. Letter C, if you get a grade of 95 or higher in the first 2 assignments, you will be exempted from the 3rd assignment. Letter D, if it takes you longer to finish the sit work because time is wasted with chatting, then we won't have time to go the playground anymore. So 112. Alin ang sagot mo? So the answer is letter D. So this statement highlights natural consequences, teaching self-regulation. So it follows the principles of behaviorism and natural consequences in disciplining the students or the child. Yung letter A uses reward instead of natural consequences. Yung letter B naman imposes an unrelated consequence. At yung letter C, it promotes extrinsic motivation, not self-regulation. So 112 ay letter D. 113. Based on DepEd's grading system, which assessment is or are used to determine grade of students? Formative assessment, summative assessment, assessment of learning. Letter A, 1 only. B, 1 and 3. C, 1 and 2. And letter D, 2 and 3. And your answer should be letter 1 and 2, formative and summative. Yan yung kailangan natin. 1 and 2. Yung DepEd's grading system includes both formative, yung ongoing, and summative, yung final assessments. Yung ibang options ay hindi kasama ang 1 and 2 or kasama ang 3, so we have to eliminate the 3. Kasi yung assessment of learning is broader than grading, so 113 ay letter C. 114. According to Erickson, what reason can explain behind a person to be inhibited from taking a role, a challenge, or opportunity? Reason out that nothing ventured, nothing lost. Letter A, antipathy. B, inhibition. Letter C, sociopathy. And letter D, malignancy. Alin ang sinagot mo dito? Ang sagot dito is inhibition. Erickson describes inhibition as the fear of failure. Takot mabigo, takot magkamali, takot ma-reject. So fear of failure leading a person to avoid challenges. So, yung antipathy refers to dislike, not fear of challenges. Yung letter C naman is a personality disorder and unrelated to Erickson's stages. At yung malignancy is a general term for harmful behavior, not avoidance or of challenges. So 114 ay letter B. 115. What educational technology is most appropriate in showing the trend in temperature change from mouth to mouth? Letter A, flow chart. B, map. C, bar graph. And letter D, drawing. So the answer should be bar graph. So ang bar graph best displays the trends in temperature changes over time as it clearly shows differences in values. Yung flow chart shows processes, not trends. Yung map naman, nagre-represent ito ng locations, not changes over time. At yung drawing is not effective for numerical data. So 115 ay letter C. Number 116. Teacher Miley makes sure that she checks for understanding as she teaches to ensure that every student can follow the lesson. What form of assessment is being described in this situation? Assessment of learning, assessment for learning, assessment for and as learning, and letter D, assessment as learning. So your answer should be letter B, assessment for learning. Ang assessment for learning happens during teaching to check student understanding and guide instruction. Yung assessment of learning happens after learning para ma-evaluate ang performance. Yung assessment for and as learning naman, yung as learning refers to self-monitoring which is not mentioned. At yung letter D naman, assessment as learning involves student self-assessment which is not the case in this item. So number 116 ay letter B. Number 117. After concluding an assessment, results show that lesson objectives were attained, so the teacher blank. Letter A, can review past lesson. B, should validate assessment. C, should apply remedial measure. And letter D, can teach with the next competency. So the answer is, okay na, move na sa sunod na competency. Letter D, kung ang students ay na-meet ang lesson objectives, so the teacher can proceed with the next lesson. Yung letter A, it's not needed if objectives are met. Yung letter B naman, validation is important but not necessary if objectives are clearly met. At yung letter C, remediation is only needed if objectives are not met. So 117 D. Number 118. In chronological order, arrange the stages of prenatal development in human growth. Fertilization of zygote. Biased. I think this is biased pa talaga ito. Blast ata ito eh. Blastocyst. Blastocyst attaches to the whole of the female uterus. Male sperm and female egg chromosomes unite. Zygote divides to cells from 2 to 4 to 128 cells. Dami, ano? So, ito yung options. Letter A, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ganun ba yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya? Letter B, 3, 1, 2, and 4. Letter C, 3, 1, 4, and 2. And letter D, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, ang sagot mo dito ay letter C. Ang mauuna dapat dyan ay ang sequence natin follows the correct prenatal development. So, yung option C na yan ang tamang sequence na sumusunod sa correct prenatal development. So, nauuna yung number 3. Yung chromosomes, nag-unite, sunod. So, yung sperm and female egg, nag-unite sila. This is followed by fertilization of zygote. At then, pag na-fertilize na siya, yung number 4, yung cell magdi-divide na siya. From 2 to 4 to 128 cells. And then, yung last, yung blastocyst yan, hindi yan bioyeast. Bioyeast. This is blastocyst. So yung blastocyst, nag-a-attach na siya to the uterus. And then a blastocyst is a cluster of dividing cells made by a fertilized egg. So yun ang blastocyst, ano? Yung cluster yan ng dividing cells na galing dun sa fertilized egg. Hindi balot. Fertilized egg, yung egg cell ng babae na fertilized ng sperm. So that's the correct sequence. 118 ay letter C. 119. After concluding an assessment, results show that lesson objectives were attained, so the teacher can review past lesson, should validate assessment, should apply remedial measure, can teach with the next competency. So 119 should be na ulit na ito, ano? So letter D, if lesson objectives are met, moving forward ensures progress in the curriculum. So yung letter A is not necessary unless there are gaps. Yung letter B naman, it's already validated by the results. At yung letter C, it's no remediation needed if objectives were attained. So 119 ay letter D. 120. The following are the physical products for assessment except for blank. Sculpture, video report, photographs, newspaper articles. So ano ang tamang sagot dito, teacher? So ito ang exception, ano? Exemption, yung letter D, newspaper articles. Physical assessment products include tangible student-created works, so like sculpture, videos, at photographs. Yung sculpture is a valid physical product, yung video report is a valid digital product also, and the photograph is also a valid digital product, except sa letter D. Ano? Kasi, how can they do that? Newspaper article. Well, unless they publish in the school organization, school journal, ano. But anyway, so the answer here is letter D. And that's part 6 of set 1 of our Prof Ed enhancement drills. Let's continue in the next video.